This is Arielle, the Inconspicuous Bear, and I'll be narrating a gold challenge mode run of the Scarlet Monastery from a Guardian point of view. Scarlet Monastery is probably one of the easier challenge modes to do. The time isn't that restrictive, and the bosses aren't really that hard, and there's only really one really difficult trash pull. At the very start here, you'll see that there's a zombie pile right after we start the challenge. You want to pre-pot before this to get down the zombie pile as soon as you can. We're just going to start the challenge here real quick, and here we go. Talent-wise, it's pretty much universally the same. Wild Charge, I like using Renewal for challenge mode personally, and then you go with Typhoon, Incarnation, Vortex, and Nature's Vigil at the top. Here you basically just lay down Savage Defense and AoE the zombies down. The zombies don't really hurt too much, and the only real danger is from the Conal Fire attack of the Pyromancer. Timing Swipe and Thrash to coincide with the zombie spawning can be kind of a pain in the butt. Just remember to grab them if they're off towards your DPS with the taunt. And here you'll see the trash is pretty much dead. After this, you'll want to turn around and run between the two other zombie piles. You'll see one in your right and one in your left. This one you can run straight between them just like you do on a regular dungeon run. Once you get up to the end by the boss, you'll want to pull both of the packs of spirits, because otherwise they'll cause you huge problems while you're trying to kill the boss. The spirits have a property where they increase the damage they deal, but also reduce their movement speed and proportionally to the amount of health that they're missing. This means once they actually start taking damage from your DPS, you don't want to be anywhere near them. You'll actually just die on pretty much one global. Here I'll just drop a Vortex on the spirits so they can't chase after me while I run towards to grab the boss. The priest also drops a bubble and a pain suppression on me because he's kind of worried that I'm going to take more damage, even though I'm not going to. I'm out of range of the melee range of the spirits. Getting the boss to come out of the spirits is can be kind of annoying. He likes to stand there and summon zombies and summons souls and all sorts of annoying things. This boss is pretty simple. We pop Heroism, or we're going to pretty shortly after the spirits die, to kill him as soon as we can. His health is really high for a boss in a challenge mode, so you want to kill him as soon as you possibly can. He's not very threatened, but the worst he'll do is drop little purple puddles on the ground and hit you with a Spirit Gale. You can interrupt the Spirit Gales if you want. You can see on here I'm constantly moving out of purple puddles. The 8 zombies just operate just like they do on normal. Just AoE them down, grab them with a Thrash and a Swipe, and they'll just get AoE down pretty fast. The boss is actually dying really quick because we have actually really high single target DPS when we just use Hero. You can't DPS pot this boss because you're going to need to use the cooldown for invis pots in about a minute or two. Just make sure you grab the large abominations and keep them on you so they don't go murder people. After this, you'll see that there's going to be 2 yellow mobs in the next room. So you need to wait until your healer starts to amber before killing them. We killed them for mob count, just to avoid having to deal with an extra trash pack later on. Makes it easier. They don't really do anything except to stun you and can be kind of annoying. So the boss is going to die in about 2 seconds here. And there he goes. I'm just going to frenzy regen. Turn around, look at my healer, make sure there he starts to amber. Now I'm going to pull these 2. They don't really do any damage, so you don't have to worry about them killing you while your healer ambers. Just make sure you go ahead and take them on as soon as you can. The one difficult trash pull I mentioned at the start of this video is going to be coming up right after we kill these 2 Judicators. It actually patrols down the hall there. You want to make sure you kill them fast enough, or kill the Judicators fast enough so you can pull the next trash pack without waiting for it to patrol back down the hallway. So here you see I can see them, so I'm just going to run over and pull them. So line sight them through the doorway. You'll see a pop Survival Instincts almost immediately, and then Berserker Nature's Vigil. You're going to be taking a lot of damage here, so try to make sure. You see I get stunned as well, so I pop Barkskin. Out of this, so Survival Instincts is down. Now the Warlock should be Shadow Freeing pretty soon. The Disciplined Priest also dropped a bubble to reduce damage from Flame Strike. And then you also see that the Shaman dropped a Solar Beam. They're all pretty much dead at this point, so it's really not too much to worry about. If you set up a proper cooldown, proper CC rotation, you should be able to kill them without any issue. And then you see the 2 Spirits of Redemption. We're going to Invis Pot in this hallway here. If you use a lesser Invis Pot and you have a Hunter, you should be able to make it all the way up to the top of the cathedral where Brother Christoph is without having to pull any extra mobs. It's pretty close though, so consider investing in greater invisibility pots just to make sure that you can get up there if you don't have a Hunter or if you're worried about the time. You just make a beeline straight up the courtyard. And there's actually a pack of monks right on the left, but we're going to make it over just in time so we don't pull them. And we even get really lucky with the pat on the boss. However, you'll see pretty quick here that our Elemental Shaman decides to be kind of a derp and pulls the pack of monks over on the right-hand side by the water fountain. We also didn't set up the positioning on this particularly well. It'll get fixed in just a second here. Reese is going to go stand in the fountain to soak the flame kicks, but you see we pick up all 3 monks. Normally this would probably be kind of a wipe, but because I managed to vortex the monks, I'm not going to take too much melee damage from them at the start, and then once they get split up like that, it's not really that too big of a deal. And definitely having the ability to kite with vortex. You see, I typhoon them off to the corner, and now they're just. We actually get even luckier here because they have to walk down the edge of the fountain in order to get back over to me. And now I'm just going to kite them around the fountain. They won't be able to touch me anymore. Yeah, so you're going to run around the fountain. And by now, they're all 3 of them are dead. You don't actually have to kill us for mob count. We just got really unlucky. The boss doesn't do anything particularly harmful. He'll do the spinning or this firestorm kick at the furthest person away from him at the time. Let's make sure it's a ranged DPS of some kind. Reese is the one that's been soaking it this entire boss fight. Otherwise, you basically just sit here and DPS the boss. He does this weird thing where he increases the damage or adds fire damage to his melee attacks, and then he does Fist of Fury. Just run away from that. You won't take any damage. He's pretty harmless, all in all. Once this boss is dead, you'll see there's a peak at the end of the fountain between the 2 monk packs. You want to make sure you run straight from that peak up to the doorway and don't deviate. Otherwise, you'll pull a pack of monks and end up wasting time. Even if you do pull a pack, you can probably still make it, but it makes it definitely makes it easier if you don't mess up and do that. See, Reese decides to camouflage because she's crazy, and then we just roar up to the top here. Once you get into the cathedral, you do have to clear all the trash, so it's important to be prepared with how you're going to chain pull it, and then execute that plan perfectly, or at least as well as you can manage. We start with the 2 purifiers on the left-hand side, line sight them around the pillar. They're pretty harmless, and wrap Purifying Flame if you want to. It's just a single target nuke that lands on you. Otherwise, it doesn't really do anything. You'll see the 3rd purifier coming on the left-hand side. This is a patrol that will always be on this side. However, it may not be there when you actually get in, so feel free to kill it when you're coming down this side. Otherwise, you'll might end up having to kill it as part of that 4-pack back there, which would make it kind of annoying. Next, we line of sight pull the right 4-pack around the pillar. This pack can actually do some serious damage to you because the fanatics can hit decently hard, especially if there's more than one of them. However, with just Savage Defense up and Berserk and Nature's Vigil, they go down really fast, and it's not much to worry about. Make sure to interrupt the heal on the Zealots if you get the chance. All it does is just increase the amount of time it takes for you to kill the trash. And then we're going to move over to the right-hand side and pull the 2 purifiers around that pillar. Sometimes they just don't really want to come to you, and they have to be convinced. There we go. As with the purifiers on the left-hand side, interrupt Purifying Flame, and then just kill them. We're going to charge around the corner, and then line of sight pull the next pack around that corner. It's just a bunch of little mobs, Initiates, I believe, and a Zealot. They're pretty harmless. All they really do is just sit there and smite you and hit you with little melee attacks. Just keep Savage Defense up and you'll weed them down. Yeah, here they come. The Shaman's actually going to drop a Solar Beam on top of the entire group as well, and there's a Shadow Fury, just to help with the incoming damage. And interrupt the Zealot heal. And Solar Beam should be coming down right about now. There it is. And then once the Zealot gets into his Spirit of Redemption, here we're going to pull that Judicator, and then somehow I managed to only get the Fanatic and one of the Purifiers from that group. I don't know how I did that. I'm pretty sure they're all 4 of them were supposed to come. I wouldn't have been too big of a deal if they all did. I would have gone with the cooldown rotation. You can see the Priest actually used Pain Suppression here. Because of the Fanatic damage, I didn't have Savage Defense up. This group's going to go down really quick. And then once we get this group, we're just going to charge over and kill the remaining 2 mobs. So there they go. All that's left is a Zealot and Fanatic, which is pretty harmless. We're going to focus on the Zealot first, interrupt the heal, and then go back into the left-hand corner and kill the remaining trash. Yeah, you can see here we already completed the trash. The Judicator that continuously spawns counts each time here it gets resurrected. You can sit here and wait if you actually manage to somehow miss a trash mob earlier. I don't know how you do that. But if you do, you can just sit here and wait for him if you need an extra one. Interrupt the Zealot, make sure he doesn't heal anyone. Now right after this, we're going to have about I think 3 minutes and 15 seconds for the boss. So we're going to let our healer Amber, and pretty much once he gets into Amber, I'm just going to pull the boss, because the first phase doesn't really do any damage. Just make sure everyone stacks up on top of you. While you do want to kill us as soon as possible, you don't want to use heroism here. You want to save all your DPS cooldowns from when both Whitemane and Durand are up at the same time. Every so often he'll do his little charge thing. If you're all stacked up, it doesn't go as far or deal as much damage, so it increases the amount of time you have to DPS him down. Yeah, you can see here that the despawn time was pretty minimal. I'm just dumping all of my rage into Maul at this point. He doesn't do any damage, and it's really important to kill him as fast as you can. Once Whitemane comes out, you got to make sure you set up who's going to be interrupting Resurrection, who's going to be interrupting Mind Control. You'll notice that we kind of screw this up royally on the first Mind Control, and I end up missing it. But thanks to a Master Spell, it turns out to be okay. However, if you don't have a Master Spell, it's going to be kind of a problem for you. See here, I'm just kind of sitting, and we didn't actually set up who was going to interrupt which at this point. But right after that, we managed to just go, okay, I'm going to interrupt the next spell, whatever it is, and then you can have the one after that, and so on and so on. When Whitemane gets 50%, she's going to start, or she's going to resurrect Durand and get both of you back to full health. At that point, you immediately pop heroes on all DPS cooldowns and kill Whitemane as soon as possible. Yeah, here she's putting us to sleep. It's just easier if you sit here, less travel time to the boss afterwards. And here they're both active again. You'll see I'll immediately pop Berserk and Nature's Vigil for maximum DPS. And we're pretty much just straight up focusing down Whitemane because we need to keep killing her off quickly. It makes the encounter easier. You don't have to worry about incidental or threatening mind controls or having to interrupt anything anymore after she's dead. Yeah, interrupt mass res. Right after the Berserk was finished, I jumped right into Incarnation. I'm not even using Savage Defense at this point. I'm dumping all of my rage into Maul. Whitemane's dead, and now it's we have plenty of time, just over a minute to kill Durand. That's way more time than we actually need. And this is just a complete repeat of Phase 1. Hope you enjoyed this challenge mode guide, and wish you luck on your own runs.